Welcome to this episode where we address one of the most hidden and disruptive risks to your global talent strategy. This is the profound cultural collision that occurs when a foreign executive steps into a Norwegian leadership role for the very first time. You are an HR director who has just successfully recruited a brilliant, high-performing senior manager from the United States, the United Kingdom or Central Europe to lead your Oslo or Norway division. You have secured their visa, found them a beautiful apartment, and logically assume that their impressive track record of corporate leadership will immediately translate into success in Norway. I am Erik Christensen from the NLS Norway Relocation Group, and I need to urgently warn both HR departments and incoming expatriate leaders that managing a team in Norway requires a complete and often uncomfortable dismantling of everything they ever been taught about corporate authority. In most traditional global business hubs, leadership is heavily defined by a steep top-down hierarchy. Managers are expected to issue clear directives. Employees are expected to execute those orders without question, and authority is visibly reinforced through formal job titles, corner offices, and a strict chain of command. However, when your new foreign manager walks into a Norwegian office, they are stepping into a radically different ecosystem governed by the flat hierarchy. In Norway, equality is not just a vague social ideal, it is the absolute foundational bedrock of the workplace. The CEO sits in the open planned office right next to the summer interns. Everyone is strictly on a first name basis, and pulling rank or demanding respect simply because of a job title will instantly alienate the entire local team. The most intense shock for a foreign manager usually occurs during the decision-making process. A traditional executive is accustomed to analyzing a problem, making a unilateral decision behind closed doors, and rolling it out to the team for immediate execution. In Norway, however, leadership relies on a deeply ingrained cultural process of consensus building, often referred to as forankring. Before a major decision is finalized, a Norwegian manager is expected to actively consult their team, invite open debate, and genuinely listen to the input of their subordinates, regardless of their rank. To an ambitious foreign executive, this endless cycle of meetings and democratic discussion can feel agonizingly slow, inefficient, and dangerously close to insubordination. If the foreign manager attempts to bypass this process and force a top-down mandate, they will not face loud arguments, but rather a wall of polite, passive resistance where absolutely nothing gets done. The manager must be trained to understand that while consensus building takes longer on the front end, it results in incredibly rapid and unified execution once the entire team feels valued and aligned. Furthermore, your new hire must be prepared to navigate the unspoken social code known as Janteloven, or the law of Jante, which strictly discourages individual boasting or acting superior to one's peers. If your new executive tries to motivate their Norwegian team with aggressive Wolf of Wall Street style competitive speeches, or if they constantly highlight their own elite university degrees and past individual triumphs, they will be viewed as arrogant and entirely out of touch. Success in Norway is always framed as a collective team achievement, and a leader's primary role is to act as a supportive facilitator rather than a dictatorial superstar. Finally, the foreign manager must completely rewire their understanding of dedication and work-life balance. In London or New York, an executive proves their commitment by being the last person to leave the office at 8 o'clock at night. In Norway, the core working hours end promptly at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and leaving early to pick up children from the barnehage or kindergarten or heading out for a cross-country ski session is highly respected. If you're a new foreign manager, start sending demanding emails on a Sunday morning or regularly stays at the desk until 7 in the evening, the Norwegian team will not be impressed. Instead, they will assume the manager has terrible time management skills or is actively trying to destroy the team's sacred work-life boundaries. When a foreign leader fails to adapt to these unwritten rules, the local team quickly loses trust, productivity plunges, and a highly expensive international assignment inevitably collapses. This is precisely why providing formal language and culture training alongside dedicated expert transition and career coaching is not just a nice corporate perk, but an absolute strategic necessity. By partnering with experts who understand the nuances of Nordic or Norway corporate landscape, HR departments can proactively equip their foreign manager with the psychological tools they need to decode the flat hierarchy, master consensus building, and earn the genuine respect of their Norwegian colleagues. When your international leaders are culturally fluent, they stop fighting the system and start leveraging it, resulting in a harmonious, high-performing team and massively successful corporate relocation. For those who need help relocating to Norway, securing language and culture training, or safely onboarding their foreign executives, you can go to our website at NLS Norway Relocation.no, NLS Norway Relocation.no.